When I left school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. Not the faintest. Everyone was sort of knowing what they were doing. They were all going to uni.
After I finished college, I took a gap year and I went through about maybe 15 jobs. I'd worked something for about 2 weeks. And then obviously your retail, hospitality, all of that.
I used to work in a school as a dinner lady. That's how I started off. I always wanted to help people, really. That was my thing. I always wanted to be able to be in an industry where I could have an impact and help people.
Ever since my childhood, I always wanted to be in marketing, but my life kind of took me through a very different journey. So for most of my life, I've been in hospitality, but it was always passion of mine that I wanted to give a marketing a go.
I've always enjoyed like technology and IT, and always thought, you know, longer term I wanted a career in that space, but didn't really leave school with any kind of IT qualifications or grades. It just didn't work for me. I ended up kind of leaving after a year, not really knowing what to do.
When I left college, I wanted to do a million different things. I started a degree in maths, and then I did a degree in psychology. I finished that, I went into work in mental health. Rather than a job, I wanted a career.
For me, I wanted to go down the apprenticeship route from like secondary school, like year 9, year 10. But when I told my secondary school that I don't want to go to uni and I don't want to go to college, they sort of called my parents in and said, you're better in the books and you should go down the uni route. They kind of put my parents off, who were also supportive beforehand, you know what I mean?
So I didn't really know much about apprenticeships when I was in school. They were sort of the last resort. They were more for people who didn't have the grades, didn't know what they wanted to do, didn't do very well in school. And the people that did do them, it was more commonly boys than girls.
I think I had the assumption that apprenticeships were for school leavers or, you know, people who are much younger, not necessarily people who, like me, were changing careers. I started and I realised, you know, actually we had, you know, 17-year-olds, but then we also had older people as well. So the average was like about 25, 26. So it was really good that it opened my eyes. For my young children, you know, they're 6 and 8 at the moment. So I really also wanted to have a career that fitted around them, but showed them what they could do so that they can see that, you know, that multicultural is reflected in higher positions.
I was made redundant, and I thought, you know what, I was early 20s at the time. I went job hunting, and immediately you're then fighting others with similar skill sets for roles. I went on a government website and I started to look at apprenticeships, and actually then wandered on Virgin Media on the same site, kind of offering a similar apprenticeship. You know, big company, well-known brands. Actually, I've always had an interest for computers and connectivity and communication, so, you know, took a go instead with the Virgin Media side of things, and that was the kick for me to kind of decide that actually I wanted a career, not just a job. It turned out in hindsight to be one of the best things that happened to me.
As you can tell, I'm not British. I came from Czech Republic. I came to United Kingdom to study at university, finished uni, started working full-time in a Michelin star restaurant, and I ended up being a sommelier as well, which is a wine expert recommending different wines. I did my certifications, and then I just decided that maybe it would be the right time to change, and I started looking at graduate schemes. I wasn't successful with Virgin Media O2, but I really wanted to work here. They really take care of their people, and I'm very much of a people-oriented and culture-oriented. So I decided to apply for apprenticeship, and I was successful then.
This apprenticeship, it was something that I was sort of debating for probably a long time, just because I'm a bit older now, and to me apprenticeships are for people who are just leaving school. I had a look online and I found one with Virgin Media and O2, which I had similar experience in a role before, and the money was quite good, and I thought, you know what, I don't mind taking that up.
The perks of the apprenticeship programme at Virgin really enabled me to actually make that career change. But the more I kind of looked into it and the more I learnt about kind of Virgin Media's, O2's like values and the ethos of the programme, I was just kind of more and more convinced that this is exactly the programme that I wanted to be in. And I just remember, like, after my interview, I was like kind of really like crossing my fingers, waiting for a response. It just felt like time kind of dragged on before I got that final yes. It was such a amazing moment for me.
They basically let you develop yourself, they provide you with lots of opportunities. It's more of a family sort of culture, especially where I am right now. They had really great benefits, and I thought, okay, this aligns with what my values are.
This is a pretty major, pretty confident brand to join. I think I just brought him on it seemed like a cool place to come and work.
It's just amazing to hear the impact that it can make, whether it's somebody that hasn't been able to secure some funding themselves to change their career, and we've been able to provide that opportunity, whether it's somebody that hasn't particularly done well at school and we've given them that opportunity to thrive in a different space.
I don't think there is a typical day. So
It's the same, isn't it? Probably 8 o'clock start, so I'll do an 8 till 4 and get in the van, see what jobs are actually in at the moment, and usually you'll have something auto assigned to you, not too far of a patch either that we cover, so it's maybe at most a 20 odd minute drive.
I do 8 till 4ish as well. I'll wake up, get the kids to school, take them to school, come to work, and then in a typical day I now help to manage the network service. So for example, if one of the agents in the shops, they're trying to put phones through for customers, but the system, like computer says no, then that ticket gets raised to us, and then I have to make sure that we've got the right people on the call to fix it. So again, you know, really vital that we can get that working again, because obviously the customers want to be able to buy their phones and things like that.
Every day is different. I live here in Kingston, so my first job could be like Leatherhead, which is like 30-40 minutes away. But they'll then keep me in that area. They won't keep like making me go back and forth.
I lead a function focused around fraud prevention, so this is all about protecting our customers and our network users from fraud. I work very closely with cybersecurity teams, with digital teams, you know, any teams that are serving kind of journeys or capabilities to our customers. And it's me and my team's job ultimately to try and stop the bad activity that goes on. And this is partly the reason why I love this role is I don't like 2 days that are the same. It's great to see teams come together and kind of solve problems for our customers.
My role is kind of a bit more proactive security, so when the organisation is making changes that could impact the security of our IT infrastructure.
It's been a long time since I've had to do coursework, written work alongside like a full-time job. But now that I've found that balance, I'm a lot more comfortable.
The apprenticeship, studies and working, it wasn't too hard if I remember correctly, because my manager was always very supportive of me taking time out. It was always that dialogue I had with my line manager around this is what I need.
But work is so good like that, because then actually they'll say, okay, well, you know, start a bit later, because then I'll have days where I just want to work, and I'll get so much done. It's like a hyper-focused day.
I think it's really important to have a mentor just for the support, because obviously it can be quite overwhelming. My mentor has been really good. He's said, like, if you need any help, any time of the day, email me, call me, and he has been like there. Like, if I need any help with any of my coursework, study days, he's replied to me within about 2 minutes. And I think that is really important, because I think going through something like this, it's better to always reach out.
I got a really amazing opportunity through the apprenticeship to host on a wider leadership event where there was like directors and things like that. And actually there was an abundance of inspiration and mentors, and I came away with 3. So yeah, so all of the opportunities are there, and it's really nice because they were so approachable.
And they're happy to talk to the apprentices, which I think in a lot of companies I've worked at before is never the case. They won't even look at you. That's the part we're meant to say here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the culture is great, and I wouldn't mind actually staying for a number of years. There's loads of room to just, even if you wanted to jump ship sideways, you can do it to a completely different role.
Definitely, 100% to stay in VMO2, because, you know, it's one of the big players.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason for me to leave. It's got everything. It's got, you know, the flexibility, the benefits.
Pretty much, the
hasn't
benefits
it?
are brilliant.
Yeah, they're incredible, aren't they?
Yeah.
Next steps for me, I would like to definitely get my apprenticeship done, stay as an engineer for maybe a good few years, but I would like to stay within Virgin Media and O2. Since being with them for a very short space of time, I have come to realise they are a really good company, and they're a company that I would definitely like to stay with. I'm not too sure on what role comes after mine or what roles there can be, but it's something that I would definitely like to explore.
Everything's so easy going with all the management. I think the management's great here.
Well, I wouldn't say for 5 years, I'd probably say for 50. So there we go. You know, it's amazing.
We've still got apprentices with us from over the years, so just under a third of our apprentices from our first class in 2008 are still with us today. And over 70% stay at least 5 years on our programme, showcasing how we're a really great place to work.
The people that work at Virgin that I've spoken to seem to have an actual kind of love for the company. Even on my own team, there's our principal engineer, his daughter's also a network engineer. And I think most of our team at least, have stayed for 15 odd years, 20 years. So it says something about the company, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And everyone I ask in the office through different departments, they've all been here for like 10 years plus.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's major, isn't it? And I think that stands out.
I've got a bit of pride there as well, saying that I work for Virgin Media and O2. It's quite a thing that I'm proud to say that I do.
100%.
100%, yeah. I've loved it, genuinely. Apprenticeships can kind of mould to each person individually. It lets you get experience, it lets you build connections straight off the bat. And obviously you're still in a role. I've got a guaranteed role after this where I'm not going to be job searching for 2 years even after university.
I think there's that stigma sometimes around if you take an apprenticeship role, you'll have to have a pay cut. But actually, this has completely turned it on its head.
Virgin paid far more than any other provider at the time in terms of apprenticeships.
Not just the salary, but the permanent contract as well.
The pay's amazing. I'm getting more than I was as a teacher anyway, as a starting salary. It's really flexible, and I think it can be really scary to take that jump and to be like, right, I'm going to change my career completely, I'm going to go into something I don't know about. If you put your vulnerability out there and just trust in the process that actually, you know, the company has your back, apprenticeships can absolutely work, and there's so much more that you can go on to afterwards.
Apprentices bring fresh perspectives that not necessarily long tenure or kind of loads of experience have. So apprenticeships in general, they're absolutely brilliant opportunities. So if any hesitation, and just be brave and give it a go, you'll probably find you'll surprise yourself.
Do it. Do it. Honestly, I wish I'd done one sooner, or I wish I knew what I wanted to do when I was younger. But I would say if you're just contemplating it, just do it. Just at least apply for it and see where it gets you. Since I've been doing it, I've enjoyed it, I've had the support, and I would recommend it to other people.
I would say go for it 100%. If it meant that I was able to kickstart my career sooner, have that kind of leg up before my peers, I would probably not go to university, to be completely honest. Get into company that your values align with, because you'll be there for a long time, hopefully.
Some people might feel that if you go for an apprenticeship, you're stuck in that career path, but you're really not. You learn so many skills as an apprentice that you wouldn't necessarily get from just doing formal training or just being in a job, that it opens up a lot more doors, and there's so many different ways that you could take your career. So don't think that just because you're doing an apprenticeship in one field that you have to stay there.
7 in 10 people in the UK believe that they need work experience to secure apprenticeship, whereas we do not ask for work experience in our programmes. We're more interested in the individual and their potential, and that's what sets us apart from other employers.
There's loads of stepping stones from here now, where if I was in uni, I'd still be in uni right now.
Yeah, you're sort of fast-tracked in a way, aren't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Or if they say like, oh, it's been my dream to do it. Well, do it, it's your dream, do it, go for it.
I feel like doing another one now.
We've won awards for top 100 apprentice employer. We've won Best Diversity, Inclusion and Equity awards, Best Recruitment Strategy, Best Team. Quite a lot of awards that we're really proud of, and there's definitely a joke around needing a future careers cabinet in the office.
If I was to sum up my apprenticeship in 3 words, it would be challenging, rewarding, and I would probably say demanding, but in a good way. Like they want a lot from you, but only because they want you to do your best. That's what I would say.
To sum up my apprenticeship in 3 words, I would say friends, growth, and opportunities.
This is literally the hardest question. Have you thought of yours yet?
No.
Growth, opportunity, I suppose career.
It's been life-changing. What does that count? 1 word?
If I could sum up my apprenticeship in 3 words, I would say challenging, exciting, and change.
So it's been completely life-changing. Lifestyle, family, everything.
In 3 words, it's been rewarding, fulfilling, and just brilliant.
If I was to sum up the whole apprenticeship experience, I'd say it's been life-changing, inspiring and magical.